So you're looking at some wild turkey running across the road on a really cool alpine ride that BuggetNuster and myself did in August of last year. Check out those flowers, Bugget.
Gosh, it was that long ago already?
Yeah, it was.
That's awesome. You know, looking at all that green, I am so ready for spring.
See, right up now, we're recording this in February. This is packed. What would you say? Well, it hasn't been a big snow year, but there's a lot of snow up there.
Yeah, and it actually hasn't been bad here. We haven't gotten hit nearly as hard as the East Coast has or the Midwest this year. We've kind of gotten off lucky in that way, but frankly, we need the snow.
And it's sloppy. So even if there isn't a lot of snow, it'd be a freaking mud fest. And for the record, Bugget and I generally don't like mud.
I just don't like cleaning it up.
It's a lot of wear and tear on the bike, and it's a lot of cleanup, both in your clothing, the bike, everything.
You know what I do like about mud, though, is watching you hammer it through there and then wipe it out.
He is referring to TNPers when we did a separate ride, and I go blasting through this freaking mud puddle.
Hey, watch this!
Spun out the rear tire, and I laid it over in about a foot of water. It was just a mess. That was on the KTM 350 EXC-F. What you're watching now is me on the KTM 500 EXC, and I believe Bugget on that. You were behind me. We didn't have a camera on Bugget on this trip, but you're on your 600, right?
I think so, yeah. Well, I don't know. Is this... yeah, I think it was the 600. Yep.
This is Swiss Days in Midway, Utah, and so the ride we do takes us over the Alpine Mountains, and it's just wonderful. And they transition a road. I mean, the busyness here, Bugget and I don't like, but I just show you a little bit here to show you kind of the experience we had that day.
That's right. We dropped down in here to grab some lunch, I think, didn't we?
Yeah, we ate at that Don Pedro's Mexican place, and
which was awesome.
Awesome. They have awesome flank steak there. It's just amazing. That's in Hebert, by the way. Look at this KTM 500, man. It's like a freaking Ferrari. It's a 255-pound bike. I'm running, I forget which dirt tires on here. And by the way, in the video, we're going to talk about the experience, bike modifications, what we like about the bikes, what we don't, and also the scenery, of course. Something new. I mean, this was actually Bugget's idea to, after I got done with the ride, I was like, I just don't know if TNPers will dig the ride. And he's like,
yeah,
it's narrated.
Yeah. I thought, let's do it like an extras, kind of like, you watch a movie at the end and then they have guys chat.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Bugget's a really good motorcycle rider, both dirt and street. I think you're getting better at street though, with more practice.
I haven't been riding street in a long time. So yeah, it's taken me a little while to get back into it.
This section here is above Hebert, and I just love it. The road is so smooth. And, I mean, it's just, there's no ruts. It's smooth, and it's just really beautiful, the quaking aspens. The one thing you got to watch out for is, dying.
Yeah.
Because if you hit one of those trees, you're done.
Well, and there's a lot of blind corners, and the road isn't real wide, so oncoming traffic through here can be a problem. But this takes us up towards Strawberry Reservoir, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You're going to see some cars that, when we get on the dirt section up a little bit higher, you'll see them straddling the center section, and it is dangerous because a lot of them just don't expect to see motorcyclists coming their way. I love this, though. This was really fun. It's like the indoor Forest Moon in Star Wars, running on speeder bikes.
Isn't Utah a cool place?
It's gorgeous, dude.
You can go from desert to alpine and all in a day's ride easily.
Yep. One thing I don't like about, because we did a fair amount of slabbing on this ride versus dirt, and Bugget and I talk about this all the time. That's me adjusting the GoPro or turning it off and on. It's a constant process. And that is the knobby wear on your tires. It's really expensive. A season of dirt bike and riding, which I'm probably doing at least 2,000 miles in a season, it just costs a lot to keep rubber on the tires, or on the bike.
Yeah, it does. If you can get 800 miles out of a tire, you're doing good.
Now, Bugget, I think you're actually on your XR650R. Is that right?
It looks like the 600 to me. No, it is the 650. That's right.
It is. Yeah, it's the R, because I remember we swapped bikes on the back side of the mountain over there.
Yep.
We rode each other's bikes. So, talk real quick about the mods you've done on your bike if there's an XR guy watching.
Okay.
And what you did not like about your bike when you got it and what you've changed on it.
What I didn't care for about it when I got it, it had an FMF exhaust and FMF Q2 on it, which was actually why you would put that exhaust on that bike. I have no idea, because it's actually worse performance than what you would get out of the uncorked stock exhaust. So I did swap that out and put a.
Oh, check this out. We'll let them hear this.
Pine beetles have done to the fir trees.
Oh, isn't that terrible?
These forests have been decimated. Sad.
Yeah, that pine beetle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Still beautiful.
It is.
All those trees died with pine beetle, we think.
On a dirt ride with BuggetNuster. Coming to the end of August 2013.
That's an epic tactical shooting location we scoped out too for long range SPRs or bolt guns.
Nice temperature too. It's a nice break from the heat. That was a good call to come up here today rather than the desert. It would have been hot. Way hot.
Bugget actually likes the mountains better than the desert, I think.
I do.
I like them equally.
Good stuff. We got Swiss days in town though. It's really crowded for us to stay in there.
You know, that just seeing that is not some way I would want to spend my afternoon with a milling around a bunch of people.
Nope.
Sorry.
No thanks. If there's a crowd there,
Count me out.
chances are I'm not going to be part of it.
Come and camp.
Yeah, it would.
Unless it's a comic book convention. Then you will be a part of that.
You know, I gave up comic books a long time ago. Star Trek, however, is a different story.
Imagine what this looks like.
We're kind of talking over our narration here. Sorry about that, but it is what it is. What were you saying about your bike?
Okay, so yeah, there's
FMF. You didn't like the FMS.
It sucked.
FMF.
It sucked. So I took it off, sold it. I put an XRs only on it right now, and
This is me, by the way, catching up with you because I'm always having to exchange a battery out. And then when we get on dirt, we do gap it out usually pretty good. Otherwise, you're just getting owned in dirt. This is me doing what I normally do. That is pass BuggetNuster on a ride.
I mean, you know, I always try to let him go by just to stroke his ego a little bit because it is very
so
fragile.
works.
It's so fragile.
I'm turning the camera so you guys can see where we're driving because it's just, I mean, I'm up in this area. It just reminds me of these old Western movies where we did this ride. The Ponderosa Pines is just epic. Although, you remember that surface, how lack of traction we
It's
had?
like riding on ball bearings up there.
It was bad.
And then I think that's just generally gravel. Hard to get away from it. I don't think it doesn't matter what kind of tire you're running. It's just slippery.
Better suited to a four-wheel vehicle than a freaking moto. Okay, so you just changed your exhaust. Tell them super quick what you have running on it now and how it's changed the bike for you.
Well, it's an XR's only race exhaust, and it's got an Edelbrock carburetor. And the Edelbrock carburetor kind of transforms the bike. It's a pumper, so it gives it a quick shot of fuel when you whack the throttle open. Because with the big displacement single cylinders, typically you whack the throttle open and it bogs. Well,
there's that car that was straddling the road.
Well, the pumper overcomes that bog when you open up the throttle. So it's been real responsive. And this particular bike is liquid cooled as opposed to my own air cooled 600.
So we did a ride today. We'll tell you a little bit more about that from the video ends, hopefully. And you changed your gearing on your XR650R as well too. So you're happy. You got what, 102 out of it today?
102. Yeah.
Check this. Looks like there's some BYU co-eds in the way.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's odd to find Hillary. You never expect to find Hillary Clinton walking around in the forest.
And her followers.
In Utah, yeah.
This is kind of odd because I didn't, you know, they're big animals. They can toss you, and I just figured here in a second I just punch it and get past them. Because I don't want them to get injured either. I don't want to go tooling off a steep slope and get
You were
hurt.
so taunting now.
Now, where we go, those are just grazing animals that lease public land. You'll see cows and sheep.
A lot of sheep.
There's a nice view right here. I don't know what it is. On the KTM 500 EXC at this time, I was basically running just Maxxis tires, I think, on it, which wear so quick, but they're really good. I did desmog it. I have a temperature gauge on it, seat concept seat. Pretty much stock other than that at this point. Stock exhaust. The KTM 500 EXC is so powerful and it's so lightweight. There's really not a lot you have to do with it.
It's fuel injected.
And it's fuel injected, yeah. I do have a Baja Designs light on it for night riding, which I do quite a bit of in summer. I think that's that's a car coming. That's really fun, by the way. You can hammer it on a straightaway, but the problem is I can break that back tire loose and just freaking wear my rear tire out. It's done. I was going to say, but now this KTM 500 has a motard conversion on it. So 17-inch wheels. It's a Warp 9 motard conversion running Avon Distancia tires on it, which provided a fair amount of drama and danger tonight. I'll tell you here in a little bit.
Oh, look at that.
Do you remember this ride?
Vaguely.
What? Vaguely? I thought you'd say, yeah, man, it's like one of the best rides I ever went on.
No, they all kind of blend together, you know. We've done quite a few of them.
Yeah, and we don't film them all. I mean, if the views on this are decent enough, I'll do more. Every now and again, I'll throw a moto video out and see how it does. I know there's a lot of TNPers that really love the moto stuff. They're passionate, but small subset of their audience.
Good 5 or 6 of them at least.
There's like 6 of them, and they love it. This is actually Strawberry Reservoir. We're cruising past here, and now we're going to
slabbing it back.
Slab it. But here's the cool thing about the ride we did is it really, and this is why a dual sport bike, i.e. motorcycle, is really cool, is that we go from interstate, you're going to see us running single track in the forest. Here we are on patch clay, and it's really just a representation of how I like to do motorcycle riding. And look at the epic views. This is actually a park on the backside of Mount Timpanogos, I think, and this is a dirt road that penetrates the heart of it. It comes out at a place called Cascade Springs. Like you've seen in some of my other videos, the movie Jeremiah Johnson was filmed on the backside of here. You get mountain flowers. You're relatively alone. There's not a lot of people up there, and it's just really, really a cool ride. This is one of my favorite mountain rides to do.
Yep. It's still very accessible. It's close to the city. So.
Love that KTM as it pops. You come off here, off the throttle. There's not a lot of, I mean, you got to drive safe in here, and I see guys driving, I don't know, they're just out of my league, I guess. They'll come hammering it down a road like this. But, and I think, tell me if you're wrong, but I really like enjoying the ride itself. I don't want to just blast through there as fast as possible. You know, I used to mountain bike with guys like that. We'd go to these really beautiful places in Washington State. You were with me then. And the guys would just like ignore the views, and they go hammering on the mountain bike. By the way, I couldn't keep up. I sucked. And I'm like, man, that's not a fun experience. So I like a blend of, you know, having some fun with the bike, maybe doing some performance driving, which you're going to see us cutting some good corners here. But enjoy the experience. Enjoy where you are, because it's so ephemeral. I mean, it's over before you know it. These are the.
What's this spot?
So
here?
this is coming out of Strawberry, and this is all the same ride, by the way, TNPers. And so now we transition, and I really was sparing how much I filmed because I didn't want us to have an hour video on this. It's only going to be like 27 minutes or something.
Lucky for you guys.
I bet you they like it. This is where I totally start smoking BuggetNuster. I keep looking at my rearview mirror. He's nowhere to be found.
Actually, I was back there taking a break for lunch.
Giving me a head start so I feel good. Is that right?
That's
now
right.
Look at these cars, and this is why you got to be really careful. And the sun's in your face.
I remember going through these corners and coming around and having the sun being on the visor and you not being able to see jack.
It's right here. You're going to lose visibility.
Yep.
Right there. Car could be right in your face. So you got to stay in your lane. It's okay to do some performance driving. It's better to be safe. The KTM, by the way, is extremely good in the corners. It's very lightweight. At least I think. I mean, I'm not like Joe Motorcyclist. It's got great power to weight ratio. Here I'm picking up to probably around 70. Maybe that's about as fast as I went on this. And I started slowing it down, downshift, getting ready for the next corner. A little bit of leaning. I'm running knobby tires here, so you know, I can't like totally lean into it, but it's good enough for me. It's happy.
That's fun.
You see me checking the opposite way, see if any cars are coming, and when you see my head bounce to the left or right. Here we go with the visibility problems again. You see me hugging right to the road there. That way, if a car's bleeding over to my lane, he won't take me out. Here's one right there. See that, dude? And I've seen that before, so is Bugget.
Especially back here, because this is a very popular road to go for a drive on.
Yeah. This is a really rough asphalt road, and it will freaking it'll chew your knobbies up big time. These were new knobbies, and after this ride, I think we did 155 miles this day. I could see massive wear on them. One thing lacking on this is BuggetNuster's camera, because we didn't have a GoPro on yet, and I'm actually kind of glad we didn't, because it's more footage for me to assimilate and cut.
Yeah.
Maybe in a future ride we will. So if you guys want to see the BuggetNuster view, let me know. Here he is coming to, now transitioning to the Alpine ride. This is all the same day.
What a cool area.
Yeah, this has seen a few slides, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I just love that mountain right there.
That's going around the front of Timpanogos then.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that is an avalanche slide area.
I love this area right here.
It's so alpine.
It's so alpine.
Did you have a dirt road?
If you have a dirt road that reaches it, it just amazes me.
It really does. That you can drive back there. It's
And
like
that-
you're
that
in
hill-
Alaska.
And that hill is deceptively
Such a
steep.
cool
Well,
area.
you can see now at this angle how steep it is.
I love that road coming up too.
I love that road coming up too.
The camera never captures the steepness of where we're going.
No.
It never does. Now, this is going up the same road. This is where the black bear attack happened to that boy years ago. I think I alluded to it on another video I did up in this area. The kid was dragged out of his tent and eaten by a black bear, which is very sad and unfortunate. It's a rare thing, though. Black bear usually aren't known for that. They ended up killing the bear, I think. The family sued the Forest Service, which honestly, Buck and I had kind of some issues with.
Yeah, a little bit. Because there's signs posted all over the place.
All
This
over the
is-
place.
That it's bear country, and you should just assume that there's bears in the area.
And I don't like the part of our culture where we always have to blame our misfortune on someone else.
No, I don't either. Yeah, you go out in the back country, you need to be individually accountable for your own existence
Yeah, I
back
mean,
there.
freaking A. Don't stand on your couch if you're scared of risk. This is what I call Bear Flats, actually. So this is super epic. I think I'm looking for you here because I think you went. There you are. You're on the right. So that's you, because I don't know if you saw me pull off, because I was going to show you an overlook. But so I'm going to catch up with you here. And this is. Oh, see, I didn't show any of the grassy meadow. Maybe next year we can, or this year we can show these
we'll
guys.
go shoot that again.
I call it The Sound of Music. This is going into same ride, same day, it's pretty close to the same area, and we're going to penetrate the forest on really some technical signal track.
This was a really cool trail. This is probably one of my favorite parts of this ride.
It is really cool. Now with my motard conversion running basically what are 70% street, 30% off trail, I would not attempt this trail just because there is one kind of technical climb going on here. That's me trying to clean the GoPro lens. You can see I got a smudge at the top. You know, you just do the best you can.
I know, I remember going through this section specifically thinking I'm geared too high for this.
Yeah. And see where my bike is now, I'm running like a 45 tooth in the rear. You know, this trail, I don't know if I'd be geared well for it now. At least that hill climb. I really like the low gearing on the descent, so that's when I really need it.
Yep.
Now, Bugget's XR is kind of a big bike to do this. It's a heavy, it's definitely not a single track bike, is it?
It is not. It's an open desert bike is what that thing was built for. And
Talk last thing here.
And it doesn't really do anything else great.
It does it good, but not great.
Yeah.
And at your skill level, it does it fair.
That's true. You're absolutely
Kidding.
right.
Totally kidding. Now, there's a couple parts on this trail where you get, and guys back east will laugh because there's a lot of trails I've seen on YouTube that they're running and they have like these overgrowths are running
I
in
know.
and weaving through. It makes this look like a joke, but for me, it's good enough. This is about all the tree weaving that I would want to do just because you can, I don't know, take out your bike. I don't know if you'll take yourself out, but
It seems to me that there was a couple of sections through here, and maybe not this one, but there's a fairly steep drop off on that left-hand side of the trail.
there is. And I'll turn right here pretty soon to try to show the audience how steep it is. I stop right here. That's what he's talking about. It doesn't show it, but if you lost your bike there, I think you'd have a real hard time getting it out.
I don't know how you get it out.
I don't know how you get it out. It's down there to stay until you get some dudes to help you haul it up. And so here you got to take it slow, just like a lot of things in life. If you dick it up, you can create a lot of problems for yourself. Now, we're not like racers either. I mean, if you saw one of these really pro dirt racers, they can come ripping through here so fast, but that's just not us.
This is two old guys on dirt bikes. Is what this is.
Yeah. Which honestly, most of the people watching this will relate to that a lot better than speed racers going through the forest. Now check this out. This is the coolest part of this ride. Not the coolest part, but I like now it transitions to like kind of bear grass. This is kind of where you'd run into a bear grazing on berries. There's some mountain laurel that we're coming through, and it gets rather thick. Still same day, same road. And to me, this is one of just the best rides. You're just getting a mix of everything. And the KTM 500, in my opinion, is one of the best all-around bikes, albeit you have to maintain it. Change the oil on it a lot because that's a very small oil reserve on it. Not like your XR650.
You know what your bike reminds me of after riding it? It's like an insane mountain bike.
It is.
What it reminds me of. It's so light and flickable compared to the XR.
I think here's part of that climb here. You don't want to stop here, otherwise you may not be able to get traction again, even with good tires, because the trail will just break out. It makes what I believe, I'm a good dirt rider, I'm not an outstanding dirt rider, but it makes me more confident when I'm riding a KTM 500, actually any KTM bike, 350 or 500. Here comes Bugget, he's going to crest the trail here. So he'll give his appraisal of the trail.
That's a cool little trail.
That thing rocks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You shoot a little bit of everything on that, don't you?
Yes, you do.
You get some unexpected rocky hill climbs in the middle of the forest.
Oh, crap, I just gotta go.
You gotta commit on it, don't you?
do.
And if you fall, you can freaking go over the side.
Yep.
All right, well done, man. That was fun.
Cool.
It's just fun reliving this in the dead of winter.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I like this video. When I did post-production on it, I was like, I think the narration will make it so much more interesting. Probably a good time to tell you that Bugget and I went out on a ride today, and I almost got killed, to be dead honest. I was riding the KTM 500 EXC with the Motard conversion, and I'm going to post a separate video of what happened there. Not my fault. I had a motorcycle mechanic. He had to relocate the front disc brake unit. He didn't attach it correctly, and so it detached on me at about 45 miles an hour, and the front wheel locked up instantaneously, and I high-sided off the bike and hit gravel pretty hard. I was wearing full protection, and that's what saved me. Had a vapor pressure suit on, tight knee pads, and so my elbows were protected, my kneecaps were protected, my thigh not so much, got a huge bruise on there. My helmet hit hard, all that stuff really saved me. Bugget was right behind me tonight.
Yeah, it was ugly. It was an ugly crash for sure.
If I'd been doing that at one of our high-speed runs tonight, I'd probably be dead. And it was really sobering seeing that. I did call the mechanic and told him, hey, your work almost killed me tonight. He felt really, really bad. He's a great guy, and I don't know if he did the work. I'm thinking one of his shop dudes did. I looked at the screws on that front brake housing before I went running, and I guess I didn't check them good enough. But I'm lucky to be here.
Yeah, had you have gotten on that front brake coming off one of those high-speed runs, you would have probably cartwheeled down the highway, and it would have been ugly. And rather than taking up pieces of your dirt bike, we would have been waiting for a helicopter to come pick you up, probably off the highway.
It's a true statement. And the messed up part of the whole wreck tonight is, I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was actually pulling to the side of the road to check something on the bike. I told Bugget on our interphone, hey, I'm pulling over. And then it just hit like a ton of bricks. Next thing I know, I am completely off the bike.
I know, you're cruising along just normal. And I'm like, what in the crap happened there? Because all of a sudden he's just flipped right off the bike and sliding down the road.
So, lesson is always check your bike. Never assume the work is done right. You can never do the work as good as you can yourself in most situations. We talked about that in the other video. Wear all of your protective gear. And yet, I still love motorcycle riding. I mean, it's just epic. Here we're coming down the backside of the mountain, and it's just beautiful. There's some awesome music by our friend Brian Eric's Brianisms. Love you, man. And we're going back to the trailer of the bikes. It's about 155 miles we did. We're just showing a very small part of it. Glad you went with me that day, Bugget.
Yeah, it was a good ride. Glad to get out there.
Hope you guys have some great memories with your friends. Go out, live life, invest your time wisely. It's very short. Whether it's motorcycling, bike riding, walking your dog in the park, tackle shooting. That's how we roll here with that fancy project, for sure. Before you know it, your life is done. You look back and go, you know, I invested it. I wouldn't change anything about my life, and that's what I want for you guys.
It's a good friend experience.
It was. See you guys. We'll do another one later. Peace.
See ya.